key idea with my designs is this idea of layers. Layers can document the shared story. So as you stain it, as you wear it, you can cut it away, and that sort of tells this joint story between you and the clothes. You want to keep it longer because you want to see what's underneath, and that I think is really exciting because it means that it kind of encourages this longer ownership. You cut off this little piece and then it's like, what do you do with it? So for me, that answer was making it biodegradable. All of the fabric, which is used, is natural fibre, so it will biodegrade over time.
Why do I choose the wedding dresses? I took them from the leftover woman right now, which is the non-married woman in China, that's how they call it. And I mix it up with the second wave feminist movement, which is the 80s, and come up with a multifunctional ready-to-wear collection. And second of all, there's the big waves of new-made wedding dresses. It is something that you use only once and never use anymore. If we cut waste and produce less new fabric, it will benefit the environment and eventually society, so it's a win-win situation.
I made natural dyes using food waste, such as avocado stones and peels, in order to make the peach color. I think we all should rebel against the fast fashion industry. So this is why I printed some statements on the exterior of the cloth. In the skirt, I put like, do you really need it? I think it's a really good question to ask ourselves, do we really need it or not? Because if you don't need it, just don't buy it.
The name of my collection is Uniform. And all my childhood I heard a lot of story about the factory from my family who worked there. And I see all the silhouette and the classic pattern that they used in the past. There is a very strong history behind every uniform, and it was very important to me when I designed the clothing to preserve and tell the story behind every uniform and the worker.
A lot of the symbolism in my print designs is referencing memento mori, so things like skulls, candles. So memento mori in Latin means remember you must die, and was used as a way to remind people to live life to the full and act now. If you have something you want to do, you should do it now. And that's how I feel we all need to feel about climate change, and acting on that. We have to remember that our time's running out and we need to really act now.
Collaboration across disciplines are the core of my inspiration and also the starting point of my design process. For me, fashion should really adopt nature, and we should have nature as like kind of the most inspiration, because in nature you always have systems that work circular. Every action, everything that happens has a sense, and I think this I want to adapt into my way of working and way of designing, because every part of the design process should lead to another and a circular system.
After watching a documentary on Marie Antoinette, I was very inspired by her wigs, and I wanted to draw different attributes out of the concept of the French wigs from the 1780s. The interwoven different elements, the combining many different materials together.
We don't have time, environmentally speaking, to consider why sustainable fashion is important. Every small bit counts. And it's our responsibility to inspire other designers to design with the prospering of our planet in mind, as well as to share and compare our engineering feats to sustain life as we know it.
I've got inspired from my close friend Naomi. She's actually living in a tent in the nature as she chosen to. She has a really sustainable and unique lifestyle. All those materials are really resisting and strong. They can get a long life in your closet after that. So I really wanted that my collection will represent the connection between the outdoor adventures and the connection with the people, and also, of course, for fashion.
When I voiced out that I wanted to be a designer, I was told that I can't be one because I'm from a small town from south of India. When I went back home, I just realized that everything I wanted and everything that inspires me is just around me. The biggest raw material for my collection was sari. Women have this connection with the sari because it's your grandma's and it's passed on to your mom, but you want a cool juxtaposition of something that's so traditional and giving it a modern and a contemporary look.
For the inspiration, I choose the Hong Kong neon light. During my garment, I using a lot of the print and using the ribbon and to form some kind of like the neon signage. We should focus on the high quality rather than the low quality, because if you keep the curve longer and with the higher quality, That means you don't need to waste too much about your clothes. So less is more is one thing I want to highlight.